Let's look at lab number 4. This is the shut-off lab. It's got an astronomical timer. We have channel 1. We can toggle here. Oh, looks like I have a burned out bulb. And indeed, that's what the problem was. These come equipped with 7.5 watt nightlight bulbs, frosted, and it's marked on the back nothing bigger than 25 watts here on these bulbs. These are really what you want to use. This is fused down to 1.5 amps. So if you go putting 60 watt bulbs in here, you're going to blow the fuse. We have a program here, and if you want this to function perfectly after it's been unplugged for several weeks, it does take 2 to 3 weeks for the capacitor to wear down in here. But when it does, you not only lose the current date and time, but you lose your astronomical data and the location of this thing. So another thing that happens is when you plug it in, it will be showing you the default date, which is somewhere in the year 2011, I think. You can go ahead and just put in the current date and time and use this, but if it has drained down prior to use, it's not going to hold its current date and time for even 1/10 of a second if you unplug it. So to get it to work properly, you would hit enter and down arrow to advanced options and enter and go left 1. Now actually from right here in advanced options you can set the date, time, daylight savings time, astronomical data, but if you go left arrow once, you get a big complicated menu, and if you go up, which actually takes you to the last menu item, you can hit reset to factory defaults. Now if you do that, it's going to clear the program, but the timer will function okay once you get it set up. Then you go into initial setup, give it the date and time, and tell it no, I don't have any events and whatnot, and then you put in your program. Actually, you would load the program first, sorry, and then go to initial setup or just set the current date and time. You also load the program off the big complicated menu. You will see an option, USB copy restore. You select that, it tells you you don't have a stick in, you put the stick in and tell it you want to restore the program, and it goes through that. And then you set the current date and time, the astro data, and it'll work just as usual. You need to make sure that students close this hatch on the aux sensor properly. Some of them will have a tendency to hang up, and they're very sensitive, and we'll see it through the crack there. And then of course we have our toggling the timer. Now that we have the bulb replaced, it works fine. We can toggle the timed output. Of course, any occupancy sensing device here, you can turn it off regardless of occupancy sensor, occupancy status, and then we have the override, which should be set for less than 2 hours, and it has a display so the students can readily see that. And that's about it for lab number 4, the shut-off lab.